Sweden around 995 AD. King Erik Segersäll has died, and his son Olof Skötkonung takes over the rule of the Svea kingdom. According to some sources, Olof is already Christian at the time he took the throne from his father, but others disagree. We'll return to this later. A major event during Olof Skötkonung's time as king is the Battle of Svolder in the year 1000, where he allied with the Danish king Sven Tveskägg of all kings against Norway's king Olav Tryggvason. The alliance between Sweden and Denmark at the time was arranged in such a way that Olof's mother, which is believed to have been named Sigfrid Storråda, married the king Sven Tveskägg of Denmark after Erik Segersäll's death. Back to the battle. The year is 1000. The battle is supposed to have taken place somewhere outside of present-day Helsingborg or Rügen in Germany, which are two quite different locations. It is said when the fleets clashed, the Norwegian king Olav Tryggvason stood tall with his golden helmet on his ship Ormen Lange. He is said to have said, "Which chieftain follows the banner seen out there on the right?" I have no idea how these banners would have looked like, but I can take a guess. Of course, it has always been the same Swedish flag. He was then told that was King Olof with the Svea army. And then Olav said it would have been better for the Svea to stay home and lick their brottgrytor than to board Ormen Lange under their weapons. There is also another story from this battle about Olaf's archer Einar. It goes like this. Olof has his renowned archer Einar by his side, and the closest enemy ship is commanded by a jarl named Erik. Einar has already shot twice at Jarl Erik, and before Einar can shoot a third time, an arrow hits right in his bow and splits it into two pieces. Then the king Olof is said to have said, "What was this that broke in such a bang?" Then Einar answers, "Norway out of your hands, king. Surely the shortage is not so great." Said the king, "Take my bow and shoot." So he did. "But weak is the mighty one's bow," said Einar, after trying to string it with an arrow. And with that he threw back the bow and took his sword and shield and leaped into hand-to-hand combat. Olav Tryggvason falls in this battle. According to the story, he is said to have jumped overboard, but there is a legend where he is saved and becomes a monk in Greece, though older sources agrees that he died. In any case, this is not about him now anyway. So Norway is divided among the victors, and Olof Skötkonung takes over 4 districts in Trondheim, both Möröländer, Rasmusdal, and Eastern Ranrike. I cannot be entirely sure where the 4 districts around Trondheim were, but Mörö and Romsdal is here where he took, and Ranrike is today's Bohuslän. Olof Skötkonung's baptism. According to tradition, he is said to have been baptized here in Sankt Sigfrids källa in Husaby, shortly after the Battle of Svolder. Other sources say it was the year 1008. He is said to have been baptized here by the saint Sigfrid. However, Adam of Bremen states that he was already Christian at the time he became king. Olof Skötkonung was also Sweden's first king to start minting coins. This is one of the reasons that support Adam of Bremen's view that he became Christian before he became king of Sweden, because the coins had Christian symbols. He is said to have started minting coins immediately when he became king in the city of Sigtuna, which he said he founded after his baptism. However, according to Lars, it was his father, Erik Segersäll, who founded the city. One other point that is highlighted is that around the year 1000, the Anglo-Saxon master coin makers are said to have left Sigtuna, but the minting is said to have continued almost uninterrupted. However, the inscriptions on the coins became meaningless because no one in Sweden at that time could master the Latin alphabet. Olof Skötkonung's name. According to tradition, the name is said to have originated from the fact that when his father Erik Segersäll was said to have won the Battle of Fryssingavallarna, the people in their joy and gratitude lifted up his little son on a shield, sköld, and promised him his father's power one day. And because he was carried in a sköte, he was called Olof Skötkonung. But the name may actually have something to do with coins. According to Lars O Lagerqvist, since we did not have dots in Sweden during the Middle Ages, the original form of the name was Skötkonung. So what is skot? According to Lars, it could be a loan word introduced by the Anglo-Saxon coin masters. One example he mentions, which I don't know where the picture of this coin, I don't have a picture of this coin, but the word skit appears on one of Olof Skötkonung's coins, which means mynt coin or later skatt tax or treasure. And since he was the first king in Sweden to mint coins, it could mean myntkonung, coin king. Later in his reign, he came into disagreement with the new Norwegian king, Olaf Haraldsson, so he did not want to marry off his daughter to him. He is said to have taken this matter before the assembly in Uppsala, where he was unwilling to marry his daughter to the king of Norway. But then the old Trångi Tjurdalands lawman is said to have risen and given a long speech. The king who now rules allow no man to speak to him except what himself favors, and in that he places his seal, but lets his tax lands be lost. Now it is our will, we farmers, that you make peace with Olav the Big, king of Norway, and give him your daughter Ingrid in marriage. But if you don't wish to go along with what we demand, then we shall fall upon you and slay you, and not tolerate injustice and lawlessness from you. Thus have our ancestors acted. They overthrew 5 kings in the spring at Mullating, when they had been filled with pride, as you have been against us. Now tell us at once which you choose. Olof gave in immediately afterwards, but he did not marry off his daughter Ingrid to the king of Norway. Instead, she was married to a descendant of Rurik in Russia. The king of Norway received an illegitimate daughter. In later years, Olof Skötkonung was forced to take his son Anund Jakob as a co-ruler, and then Olof Skötkonung died in 1022. And in front of Husaby church, Olof Skötkonung is believed to have been buried in this grave. Upon his father's death, Anund Jakob takes over as king, but that is a story for another day.